And welcome to CURRINS 545, Teaching Reading in the Secondary Schools. Another name for this course could be Disciplinary Learning in the Digital Age, because this course will very much focus on reading in your discipline and how reading and writing and other communication practices are very specific to your discipline. And we'll be doing that on top of considering how communication practices and knowledge production change in online spaces. So not only are we going to be looking at how to support reading, but we're going to be looking at how supporting reading is very linked to how we communicate and make meaning within our disciplines and how that is changed and shifted when we use different online platforms. So get ready, buckle up, here we go. I've been teaching this course for about 6 going on 7 years, and I've taught the course over 15 times, and I very much enjoy the course. It's constantly evolving and changing. I'm bringing in new platforms as I hear and learn from teachers I work with what's being used in the classroom, and I'm constantly also bringing in new research that helps us guide our decisions to support reading, writing, literacy, digital literacies, etc. So the purpose of this video is to give you an overview of the course in general. I have 3 points within the Canvas site to highlight, and to also talk a bit about the structure of each module, so as to help you navigate through each of the weekly sessions and the weekly modules. So to begin, there are 3 different points of the Canvas site and how I've organized it that I want to point out to help you kind of know where you're going. As you know, each Canvas site is organized a little bit differently. So if we were just here on the syllabus page within the course, but if we click on Home, that will bring us to this page where we see all the modules. Now, if you have multiple Canvas sites, when you click on Home, you might see different things up here, depending on the announcements, etc., from the different courses. But you want to click on whatever will get you to this kind of home page of our course, which will have the modules listed in it. So one of the things I want to point out about this Canvas course and how it's organized via Canvas is that many of the units, or I should say the lessons, are going to be organized by modules, and these modules are going to be organized by weeks. So you'll have session 1, session 2, and so forth. These are the modules that will be organizing different chunks of the topics and content that we'll be learning. So what we have here, our first module, our session 1 module, is getting started in introductions. So really this first week of the course, you'll be focusing on getting to know other people, introducing yourself, getting to know the course, and kind of playing around with some of the different online platforms that we'll be using for the semester. And all of the items that you will need for this session are organized within this module. The next module for next week is session 2, and that is right underneath this one now. However, starting next Monday, this module will be at the top. So you can, if you want to work ahead, you can bop down to the session right underneath the current one, or if you want to start it right on Monday when things are made available, it'll be there waiting for you at the top. Then when this session is over, I will drag it and bring it to the bottom of the list. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that all of the information in this course is organized by modules, which correspond very much with the syllabus sections as well. Another thing to keep in mind about how the course information is organized is that underneath the modules, so if we scroll down here under sessions 1 and 2, there is a course library. And this course library is where all of the course readings, the videos, and any other text that we'll be reading or reviewing during the sessions, all of those will be organized here, and they will be organized alphabetically by the author's last name. Now the readings will also be linked on the session module where they are first assigned, so you'll always have them there ready for you to go. For example, if you see here session 2 next week, all of the videos and readings are already linked here for you to access. However, later on in the semester, when you may want to come back to Chris Emden's Reality Pedagogy Ideas, rather than having to remember which module that was that you read it, you can just know that it was Emden, and you can come back to review it and find Emden by his last name. So here you have that same video here. So keep in mind that this is here so that you can access the readings in a different way other than when they are also here. Also underneath the course library, if we scroll down, you'll see also graduate readings for graduate students that are taking the course at graduate level. Underneath the readings, you also have some tutorial videos related to some of the online platforms that we'll be using this semester. And also there are some graphic organizers that will be discussed throughout the semester, and you have access to them as well. So that is how many of the resources are organized. In addition to the course library for all the readings, I have also created another shortcut to get you access to all of the resources related to the course projects. And I put that under syllabus. So if you click on syllabus, and we'll click here, and it will take us to syllabus, you'll notice that there is the course syllabus. There's a link right here that will take you to the course syllabus, and I will be going over the course syllabus in more detail in the session overview for week 1. But you will also notice on this page there is a box that I have called the quick links to project resources. And in this box there is links to each of the large projects that we have that will be completing this semester. And each of those projects has different resources that you'll be needing to use to complete the activities. So if you click on the link for the first project, which is blog posts 1 and 2 for the disciplinary inquiry blog, when you click on that link, it will take you to a Google Doc where I have brought together links for everything related to that project. So you have the assignment sheet, you have the evaluation rubric, plus you have links to the platforms that we'll be using, plus links to other things that you'll be needing to know, examples, etc., everything related to the project. And so you have these resource lists, and there's 4 of them for the course, that are geared towards each of the main projects that we'll be working on during the class. So taking us back to this page, you can come to each of those here. Now these resource links and resource lists will be available also too back in the modules when the course projects are introduced. But whatever you're working on, know that you have kind of a shortcut, quick link by going to the syllabus page and then right here to this box. So those are 3 of the main things I wanted to highlight about the course in general. Now I'm going to shift a bit to focusing specifically on a module and how each of the modules will be structured and organized to take you through the learning of each week. So if we look at session 1, our first module that starts the very first semester or very first week of the semester. So don't waste any time to get started. There are many activities that are due that very first week. So when you come to the session, you'll notice that there's always an agenda. Make sure to look at this agenda first. This agenda, as we click on this, is also made on I've also created them using a Google Doc, so you'll have a second click you'll have to do. But this agenda is very much put together as a map to take you through the session and the different activities that we'll be doing for the session. Each session, and so here we are at the agenda, each session has three different phases. There is an explore phase, where you'll have your explore activities, your readings, your videos you might be viewing, the introduction to course projects, the lectures related to the readings. All of that will be available under the explore activities. And the explore activities are very much meant to invite you into the content and the ideas and to explore them and play around with them. The second phase that we'll be taking on in each module is the discuss phase, and that's where you will be taking the ideas that you are introduced to during the explore phase, and you'll be kind of playing around with them. You'll be pushing, pulling on them, interrogating those ideas with others as well. So in the discuss, you'll be connecting with others, you'll be posting your ideas, and there are specific prompts that guide those posts, and then you'll also be reviewing the posts of your peers and responding to those. And then to close off the module is our third phase, and that's the reflect activities. And the reflect activities are taking those same ideas and kind of inviting you to post some comments on them, and that is done at the end of the week. So these 3 phases, the explore, discuss, and reflect, will be done pretty much every session of the semester. So you want to think of this as having 3 phases that you will circle through every week, every session of the semester. So you can't just come visit the Canvas site once during the week and do everything you need to do for the week. It is not a course where you just read the readings and come and post a response and then maybe some comments to a couple peers. There are several activities that are having you come at that content from different angles, play with it, manipulate it, make it your own. So you'll actually need to visit the course Canvas site most likely 3 to 4, in some cases 5 times, to make sure that you're staying on top of all the activities. So if I take you back then to, if going back to that session module, you'll see that the session module is very much organized in line with the agenda. You have the explore items that you need that are discussed in the agenda and explained. You have the discuss items that are discussed and explained in the agenda or on the prompt, and then you have the reflect items. And if there's an actual assignment due that week, there'll be actually an assignment due this session. For example, next week we have blog post 1 that's due, and so there's a section here, assignments due this session. You'll notice there's not a reflect on this session because we do not have a reflect activity next week, because of, in order to free up some time for this first project that's due, this first assignment. So those 3 cycles, or I should say those 3 phases, are what will very much guide and structure your participation and your learning throughout each of the weekly sessions. I hope this overview of the course in general and then the overview of the specific modules is helpful as you start to get to know this class and how it will work. Keep in mind, every time you're in a new learning environment, there's going to be a learning curve. Things are going to seem confusing at first. We'll be using a lot of different online platforms in this course. Just be patient with yourself as you get to know the course and get to know the platforms. As I said, I've taught this course many times, and while yes, students might experience a little bit of anxiety and stress in the beginning as they're getting to know it, and that learning curve is very stiff, by the 3rd, 4th week, people are finding their groove and their pattern in the course, and then they're finding their way to work and learn best. So give yourself time to adjust to that, and also give the course the effort to get to know that structure as well. Please also feel free to reach out to me via email if you have any questions, and I can help in that way as well. I look forward to seeing you in other videos, and reach out if you have any other questions. Until soon.